Thank you, ladies. Chuck, the Wauseon cheerleaders, the Patrick Henry cheerleaders, and the Wauseon student section all giving us a shout out. We have to give them a shout out for shouting out for us, the Tim and Chuck Show. Yeah, welcome to week 11 of the Tim and Chuck Show, a special playoff edition.
Yeah, I kept my shoes on. I was going to use a toe, but...
well, you know. You got to do what you got to do.
That's right.
That's right. We've got a lot to talk about today, Chuck. We've got 9 games.
Wow.
We've got teams in the playoffs from Division 3 down on to Division 7.
Yep.
No one in Division 5, though, which is very strange.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. But let's start Friday night games. Division 3, Defiance 6-4 heading to Toledo Central Catholic.
Yeah.
The defending Division 2 state champions. Oh, they're in Division 3 this year.
Yeah.
Got a lot of those kids back.
Whoops.
Number 2 in the state, 10-0. Let's start there. Big matchup coming off. They played the number 1 team in Division 4 last week. They jump into the out of the frying pan into the fire this week.
Exactly. I mean, that's a David and Goliath matchup right there when you're dealing with that. You know, you hear a lot of people say, well, that's a... Did they keep a couple kids out of their enrollment so they could get down to Division? You don't know, but Defiance definitely has a tough task ahead of them. But that's why you play the game. You never know.
Right, and I talked to Jerry Beauty this morning, Defiance's head coach, and he said, hey, if I thought going into a game that we were going to lose, I wouldn't have lasted this long in this business.
Exactly.
And I think he's going to pass it on to his kids.
Yep.
All right, let's stay in Division 3, Chuck. Napoleon is heading to number 4, Sandusky Perkins, a team that Defiance knows a little bit about in basketball and baseball. The Napoleon 6-4, Perkins again unbeaten.
Yeah, and you know, Coach Strock is sort of the same way over there in Napoleon. He'll have his kids ready no matter what the task that's ahead of them. They're going to be ready to roll, and they're going to be well prepared.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a physical game.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. We're going to move on down to Division 4. We got number 2, Bryan, on the road, 10-0. At number 3, Genoa, coached by former Liberty Center assistant Tim Spees.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, talk about a contrast to matchup. Bryan is going to be running that spread, and the Genoa is going to be running. It's going to be a physical game.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if Coach Spees knows anything, he knows a little bit about NWAL football.
Yeah. So
he'll be ready with that coming in. That's going to be a great game to watch. You know, like you said, total contrasting teams. So that's going to be a great one to watch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I said, I think it's going to be very physical. Let's keep going. And NWAL team, number 8, Wauseon 9-1. They're hitting the road. They're going to Worcester Triway, team that OG played over there a few years ago. Yeah, they're 8-2. That looks like, to me on paper, one of the best matchups on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I think Wauseon's getting back to hitting on all cylinders with their running game and everything. So I think they're going to be something to force to be reckoned with. They might go on the road and get one.
Yeah, and big win last week got them into the playoffs for the first time since 1999, and they beat Patrick Henry, snapping their 12-year streak of the playoffs. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no playoffs without Patrick Henry. It sort of seems sort of odd, But Wauseon's playing well. The NWL was tough this year.
Yeah. Well, let's keep moving down. Friday's next game, we've got Northwood at number 8 Tenora, 9-1 on the season. You know a little bit about Northwood. You guys played them this year.
Yeah, exactly. We played them in week 1, so they're a little bit familiar with some Defiance football. But I think looking at our game, you know, things change over the course of those last 9 weeks. But I think it's the Renolette boys, I think they might have a big game because Northwood, you know, they got great guys up front, but inexperience coming into the season on the edges, and I think the Renolette boys really could have a good game on them.
And that Tenor defense is just playing very well right now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you know, they're playing lights out. They're a fast, physical crew. You know, they're not as big, and they don't manhandle people as well as they have in the past. But, man, they are fast. They get off the ball and they get after it.
And they get to the football.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Also in Division 6, same region, Region 20, we got number 10, Wayne Trace, 9-1. They're going on the road to 9-1 Colonel Crawford. I know that Wayne Trace would like nothing more than to beat this team because they would have a matchup next week against Tenora if Tenora can beat Northwood.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a matchup that Wayne Trace, I think, has wanted. I don't know. Hopefully they don't get caught looking ahead.
Yeah.
You know, because the last couple of weeks you look at some of the scores and you think, what is going on with Wayne Trace? And I'm hoping the last couple of weeks that they're not looking down the road to this week, to week 12.
Yeah.
You've got to focus on the week ahead. If you're in the playoffs, you deserve to be in the playoffs. You know, there's not a gimme team in the playoffs. Yeah. So you've got to focus on the task at hand. And Wayne Trace has the athletes. They got the guys up front. They can really get after it. And if they focus, they're going to be hard to stop.
Well, those two teams, after finishing 8-2 Tenora last year and and Wayne Trace 9-1. Neither one of them made the playoffs. They're both in this year. That's big for the GMC.
Yeah, it's great, and I think both of those teams are going to represent the conference well and really make some waves this year.
All right. Well, then we're moving on to Saturday's games, Chuck. Division 7, Region 24. We got number 11 Lipsick hosting Delphus St. John's at 6-4. A team I'm pretty sure Lipsick was hoping would lose to Minster last week, because Delphus St. John's at 6-4 might be the favorite in that region.
Oh yeah, and you see it year in and year out. Delphus St. John's always makes the playoffs. They might not ever have a great record, but playing in the league that they play in, the MAC, you can come out of there 500 and still make a long run and bring home a ring, because that's how good that league is.
Yeah, and I think Lipsick is thinking, we've got a big win over Macomb. That put us in the driver's seat in the region. I think that they think that they can win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they definitely do. They're a good program. They've really been rolling here the last few years, and they had a good season, too. So, I mean, their confidence has to be really sky high coming in, too.
Yeah, well, Hicksville, Saturday night, is hitting the road 6-4 at number 10, ranked Macomb, coming in at 8-2. Macomb, I think their two losses are to Liberty Benton and Lipsick.
Yeah.
And we know that those two teams are in the playoffs.
Yep.
So, that's another team that can score points.
Yeah, they can. I've seen Macomb a little bit on film, but I really like the way Hicksville's been playing the last few weeks. And I think Hicksville's going to come in, and I think they got a really good shot of winning this. That's a Hicksville squad that a lot of people overlook throughout the year, but they're another team. They get after it in their running game. Man, those guys are fast.
And they've been in this situation before where they've just gotten in, and hey, they went to a Final Four in that same situation.
Exactly. And like I said, I think some people might be overlooking them. I think they're going to get one.
Well, last but not least, we've got Eaton 8-2 in the playoffs. They're hitting the road at 6-4 Calvert, a team that we've seen in the past against some teams, but those teams, those Calvert teams were more 9-1, 10-0 teams. This is 6-4. What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, usually those teams, those Calvert teams, they come in well prepared too. And the thing I like about Eden is they run a familiar offense to some Defiance people. They run a version of that old run and boot that Defiance ran for years and years and years. They spread it out a little bit more, not with a tight end, but they can move the ball up and down the field, and they're a good group too. So if it comes down to scoring points, Eden can score with you if they have to.
That would be definitely a fun matchup to watch as well. Although those are the 9 games that we have for the regional quarterfinals. I'm sure we're going to have teams playing again next week, and we'll be back talking about Week 12. But before we do that, we need to go out with a bang. This is the last week for the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week and the Powerade Power Play of the Week. Once you get to the playoffs, the OHSA says you got to pony up a little bit of cash if you want to film those games, and it gets a little expensive. So let's go out with a bang, Chuck. Let's talk about the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week. What do you know about that, Chuck?
I know collision by any other name would not be the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week.
Exactly.
But coming from that Wauseon Patrick Henry game, big play down the field. Patrick Henry's Colin Spence holds up the ball carrier, and if you've played Patrick Henry at all this year, if you're a ball carrier and you're getting slowed down, that Colt Pettit is coming sooner or later, baby. And here he comes, laying the smack down, boots to butts right there.
Boots to butts indeed. I don't know how many times we've given Colt Pettit the Rose Insurance Collision of the Week, but I would think that he's going to probably have a dozen long stem by the time this season is over.
That's right.
Congratulations, Colt Pettit, on another big hit. All right, let's talk about the Powerade Power Play of the Week, and we've got Wauseon quarterback Ty Sunken, break and contain, running down the field, looks like he's going to score a touchdown. He's getting close to the end zone, and Derek Hoops and Brandon Cole put a hit on him. He fumbles the football. But Zach Johnson of Wauseon says, you're not getting that fumble. No. I'm going to jump over you. I'm going to grab it in the end zone. I'm going to score a touchdown, and I'm going to help my team beat you. What a play.
Great hustle play. It turns into something that I cringe when I see a running back get collided on by 2 defenders like that. Cover the football, and we don't have to deal with that. Yeah. But a great hustle play to make a positive out of it.
And what a great way for our final Powerade Power Play of the Week. Congratulations, young man. I think that's all we have for Week 11.
Lots of stuff.
We covered a lot. Yeah. We'll be back for Week 12. Like we said, there'll be teams that are playing in the regional semifinals.
Oh yeah. Can't get rid of us that easy.
Not that easy. No. As always, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We love that. And tweet us. We'll mention you right on here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right there.
See you next week.